Welcome to The Explainer. I am so thrilled you're joining us today. You know, if you manage a supply chain, keeping your inventory flawless is basically half the battle, right? Well, today we're looking at a huge, highly anticipated new feature in Dynamics 365 Business Central 2026 Release Wave 1, or as we know it, BC28. We are diving into the completely new quality management module. And listen, this isn't just going to be some high-level overview. We're getting hands-on. Think of this explainer as a highly practical, scenario-driven configuration guide. We are going to walk through exactly how to set this up step by step. But before we get into the weeds with the technical setup, let's just ground ourselves in the why. Our source material puts it perfectly. Including quality checks in the process of receiving or producing goods improves product reliability and builds customer confidence. Ultimately, this module is built to help you comply with industry standards and regulatory requirements. And that is exactly what we're aiming for today, building a rock-solid, structured system that guarantees quality right at the gate, keeping your operations smooth and, most importantly, your customers perfectly happy. Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is our roadmap for the configuration journey today. First, we'll look at the quality management module as a whole. Then, we'll define our inspection results, build out our specific tests and templates, set up some automation with generation rules, and finally, we'll watch it all play out by inspecting some incoming purchase goods. All right, part one, the quality management module, or as I like to think of it, building your warehouse filter. Think of this whole configuration process like setting up an invisible, highly automated net right at your receiving dock. Nothing, and I mean nothing, gets put away into your inventory or sent off to your production line unless it makes it successfully through this filter. Now, to build this, we can't just flip a single switch. It's actually a four-step process. Step one, we define the possible results of an inspection. Step two, we build the individual tests. Step three, we group those tests together into templates. And step four, we set the generation rules to trigger the whole shebang. Let's start with step one and see how this all comes together. Moving on to part two, defining inspection results, which means establishing our actual outcomes. Now, you might be thinking, shouldn't we build the tests first? Well, actually, scratch that. It's a bit counterintuitive. Before we figure out what we're testing, we have to define what the ultimate outcomes of a test can actually be. These result codes are the absolute final criteria for a product passing through our filter. And what's really interesting here is how the system handles evaluation priority. Take a look at the evaluation sequence column. Business Central uses these sequence numbers to prioritize its checks. Notice how in progress and fail are 0 and 1? That means they are prioritized and evaluated before the system even looks for a pass at number 2. This is so smart because a single failure, or even an incomplete test, immediately flags the whole inspection. It saves time and stops bad inventory dead in its tracks. Oh, and another absolutely crucial piece of defining your results is a feature called result visibility. If you configure a specific result setting to promote, which you typically do for your passing conditions, that result gets a really prominent inline display right in the system. But here's the best part. This back-end promote setting is exactly how the system populates your front-end certificate of analysis reports. By dialing this in on day one, you ensure your stakeholders and customers automatically get meaningful, accurate compliance documentation. It's a total game changer. All right, part three, building tests and templates. This is where we assemble the inspector's clipboard. So now that we've nailed down our pass and fail outcomes, we need to design the actual forms your warehouse inspector is going to use on the floor. Now, people mix these two elements up all the time in Business Central, so let's clearly distinguish them. Quality tests versus quality inspection templates. Quality tests are the individual data points. They are the highly specific questions or measurements, like, recording a weight or checking a dimension. Quality inspection templates, on the other hand, are the grouped inspection plans. It helps to think of the template as a physical clipboard, and the individual tests are the specific questions written on the sheet of paper attached to it. You basically stack individual tests onto a template so you can apply consistent, repeatable standards across your items. And this beautifully highlights the incredible versatility we have when configuring those individual quality tests. You can use decimals or integers to measure physical traits of an incoming pallet, like a precise weight or the temperature inside a shipping container. You can use Booleans for really simple yes or no visual checks. You can provide a specific list of options. You can even use the lookup type, which dynamically pulls a list of values straight from other database tables, like grabbing a specific reason code. It totally ensures your inspectors are capturing highly accurate, standardized data every single time. Which brings us to part 4, automating with generation rules. This is all about triggering the inspection.
Up to this point, we've built our outcomes, we have our tests, and our clipboard templates are ready to go. But triggering the inspection, that is where the magic really happens. How do we automatically hand that clipboard to the inspector the exact second the goods arrive at the dock? The answer is generation rules. These are the automated triggers in Business Central that tell the system exactly when and how to create quality inspections in response to your business transactions. This is the crucial automation link, guys. It's the bridge connecting those templates we just built directly to your active warehouse, purchasing, or production processes.
So the real key here is understanding the exact database logic needed to trigger an inspection for our purchasing scenario. For an incoming purchase, first, we set the intent to purchase. Next, we link it to Table 39, which is the purchase line table. Then we apply our filters. Maybe we only want this specific rule to apply to a certain vendor number, or maybe just a highly sensitive item. And finally, we set the activation trigger to automatic only. That means the very second a warehouse receipt is posted in this system, Business Central says, aha, and automatically generates the inspection. Section 5, Inspecting Incoming Purchase Goods. Let's see this whole setup in action. Let's bring this entire technical configuration together into a real-world, high-stakes supply chain scenario. Imagine this. At minute 1, a purchase order for a really critical component is released. At minute 5, a truck backs up and the goods physically arrive right at your receiving dock. At minute 6, the worker posts the receipt and boom, our generation rule is instantly triggered. By minute 15, the quality inspection is just sitting there on the inspector's screen, fully populated and ready for the test results. There are no manual emails to send, no lost paperwork to chase down, just an instant, perfectly automated compliance check. But that seamless, perfect timeline brings us to a really climactic question. What actually happens when a lot fails? We built a filter, sure, but what really goes down if the inspector enters a test measurement that falls outside of our acceptable range? Well, this is where the integration with BC28's automated workflows becomes absolutely vital. If an inspector records a fail result, the workflows automatically kick in and execute critical business actions to protect your inventory entirety. The system can immediately block the lot, the serial number, or the package so it literally cannot be used in production. It can automatically move that inventory straight to a quarantine bin. It can even create a negative adjustment if the test destroyed the item, or automatically generate a reinspection for follow-up. It completely isolates the risk, and it does it all without any human intervention required. No way bad stock is getting through that. We have covered a tremendous amount of ground today, right? From defining simple pass-fail outcomes to configuring robust automated triggers and workflows. So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. How will automated quality checks transform your supply chain confidence? By catching defects right at the door, you're protecting your inventory, you're protecting your production line, and ultimately, you are protecting your customers. I hope this explainer has you energized and completely ready to jump into Business Central to configure your very own quality filter. Thanks so much for learning with me today, and I'll catch you next time.